All right, I am not the best dubbing spinner. So let's get that out of the way real quick. What I'm going to show you how to tie today is a pretty simple Stillwater pattern that requires you to use a dubbing loop and our dubbing spinner. It's basically the pattern that I started tying so that I could learn and become better. If you've watched Matt tie on any of our videos, he makes this look incredibly easy as the wizard of the dubbing loop. And I decided that I needed to learn how to do it, and I'm going to show you a fly to help you learn how to do it as well. I start, and again, any color that you wish. I tend to go with some sort of variation of olive, but we're going to start with A-dot camel thread. I'm going to take some of this barred olive Marabou and kind of set it out about there, tie it in. And what I will do with this is, again, I will take that to create a uniform base, if anything, a little tapered base all the way up into the bead. Trim that off. Then kind of lock it all in. Really, any kind of big nymph hook will work. This is, you know, my kind of standard 3.769 hook. Then I always like to put a little flash out the side of my woolly buggers. So I'll take, this is polar flash. Just give two strands out each side. Give it a little bit there. Take another strand.
No, just a feeling because I moved a bunch of that product here, and then the few we left, we just do it, and then I'm going to write Loon to refill.
That gives you just two little flash things out the side. Now, I work that thread to the back. Then I take that, move it up, tie it back in, then work that thread forward. I'm going to take dubbing loop spinner, set it there, pop it right kind of against my vise. Now for dubbing, I've been really liking this hogfish leech candy dub. Okay, but anything with stiff, long fibers will work. Now, when I was first starting to do this and starting to learn how to use this, I would use a little bit of low tack wax. And this is just kind of a sticky wax. It gives you a little bit margin for error, and I would just run a little bit on that bottom. Okay, and I'll show you why, is because the balancing act here, taking some dubbing, pulling a loose amount, and setting it up in there, and having it stick to that wax gives you a little bit of margin for error, I found. Take it right in there. Right in there, stick it. That last little bit, and then clamp it down with the thread. Now take it, I put a pivot point on my finger there, and I spin. Now there is way more creative and better tires using this tool, but sometimes, you know, seeing some basic stuff, I as long as I've tied flies, I didn't know how to use one of these. And I'd work techniques around it to figure out how to tie with this type of bushy poked out, but it was time to learn. So this is where I started. So now that I get that, I kind of poke it out, pull some of the fibers out. Then I'm going to wrap it. Again, get in there and pull those fibers back. And in a perfect world, you have just enough to get to the end. All right, tie that off.
Yeah.
Take this, cut it. Then kind of pull everything back. Then one thing I will do, if I want to brush it out a little, I'll take our dubbing brush here. Just kind of comb it out. Take that, tie it off, make sure those patterns are back,
He said,
and then tie it off.
called us last night because she went to the frat for a Super Bowl party. Yeah. She had the best time she's had at any of the frat parties.
And that
For the Super Bowl party.
is just a basic kind of mohair leech, but it's a really good way to learn and practice using that dubbing loop on a fly that you can fish and at the same time is going to be forgiving to a new technique.